what is supervised release and what happens with violations of supervised release. Supervised release is a period of supervision that you're put on after you do a jail term in the federal system, or it's a term of supervision after you're sentenced to time served in certain cases. Cooperators. So the judge at sentencing goes over conditions of your supervised release. The standard conditions are like no criminal conduct, must have a job. You may have additional terms of supervised release imposed on you that are called special conditions. Clients who violate the conditions of supervised release get brought back before the court, usually before the same sentencing judge, for what's called a violation of supervised release. And violations of supervised release are really resolved through 3 different ways. The first way is when the client agrees with the prosecutor that yes, they violated supervised release, and they negotiate what is the penalty for violations of supervised release. The second way is the client says, no, I'd like to have an evidentiary hearing, and then the hearing is before the judge to figure out whether there are violations of supervised release, and can the prosecutor prove to the judge by a preponderance, so it's no longer reasonable doubt, it's preponderance, whether or not the client has committed violations of supervised release. And if the judge says yes, the judge would then figure out what is the appropriate penalty. The third way that violations of supervised release get resolved, and this is my all-time favorite way, is when the prosecutor withdraws the actual violation, either because the conduct was so minor or because the conduct was so one-off compared to how the client is doing on supervision. The prosecutor could go to the judge with the probation officer or their supervising officer and say, we are withdrawing the violation of supervised release. Home run, best outcome ever. Rarely happens. We've had it happen twice in our practice, literally back to back. Very unusual situations, but you can get lucky and have your violation of supervised release withdrawn and taken back. But ultimately, the 2 most common outcomes is you either reach a plea agreement with the prosecutor about the violation, or you go to the fact-finding hearing.